Hello, everybody out there. Sorry for this morning that I did not and was not prepared for the things that were not in my home while I was gone. And I really wanted to show you how to make microwave peanut butter. So welcome to my continuing education. We're going to teach you something a little bit different, and I hope you can hear me. I'm going to try to speak really loud because I don't have much of a voice and I have been under the weather, so we will do the best we can. So this is a continuing education for using essential oils. So I'm going to show you a really fun way to use essential oils because I love cooking with them. And then this recipe actually was given to me a long time ago before I left the dental world. I had an older lady come in with some goodies for Christmas, and the peanut butter was so good, I asked her for the recipe, and she's like, well, sure, that's a microwave recipe. And I'm like, wait, what? Get out of here. So that's not done in the microwave. She said, absolutely it is. And I have been making this recipe ever since. It's super easy because some of us cannot do things like the candy thermometer, things like that. So we're going to make things super easy. And I apologize for the interruption. So let me adjust my screen so that you can see what I'm doing. And, okay. All right. And hopefully I don't have dogs interrupt us. Okay. So the first thing you need, the recipe is in the chat. So make sure that you look at the chat. Everything's there. And I'm going to adjust this just a little bit different. A little bit more. Okay. You need a bowl that's microwave safe. Make sure it's glass. Okay. You don't want to use plastic. You need a lid. Okay. Make sure that can go in the microwave too. And you will need peanuts. We have peanuts. 2 cups of peanuts. And you can use any nut you want. I like cashews, I like walnuts, and so I make a lot of them with that in there, but that might be a little spendy for you, so that's fine. Peanuts are really good. And you have some baking soda, you have white corn syrup, and vanilla, butter, and some baking soda. That's really all you need. And let me go grab my cinnamon. Forgot. I apologize for not having everything right here, but I want to use cinnamon in the recipe. And I still need my sugar, which you can tell that I'm still not quite with it because it's like, what? What am I doing? I've been like in chaos in my mind all day. And I normally don't use white sugar. This is what I have because I have not been anywhere today. And you're going to use 1 cup of white sugar or sugar, period. I usually use more of an organic sugar. But for purposes of this is what I have, this is what you get. Everybody can do what they want. And so this is super simple. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to dump your 1 cup of sugar in your bowl. And then you're going to, I don't make that fall. Then you're going to put your 1/2 cup of corn syrup in there. At least I have that prepared. You want to use a wooden spoon. This is probably too big for that. And you want to have a little bit of water. About, not quite a 1/4 cup. Okay. And I'll get that out. And which I don't have here, so let me get my water. We're going to add the water. Now for me, I kind of stir it up a little bit first before I add the peanuts or the nuts. It just makes it easier. It's not cooking. At the moment, it's not cooking. So I don't need to use the wooden spoon. That's why I'm using the spatula. But once it starts cooking, you're going to want that wooden spoon. Okay. But since I have my spatula in my hand, that's what we're doing. Now you want to stir that all together. And then it's going to take about 7 to 8 minutes. And I'm sorry that I can't stop and rewind or, cut out that 7 to 8 minutes, because that could be a long time. But we'll talk about some things while it's cooking. Okay, I'm going to put the lid on it. And you're going to cook it from 7 to 8 minutes. Now my microwave is a higher wattage. And so I usually only cook it for 7. I'm going to sneeze, so hold on. Maybe not. Okay, so I apologize in advance for having to sneeze. Okay. So my microwave is a higher wattage, which is I think it's a 1200 or 14? 1800. Here we go. It's the highest wattage you can get for a microwave. And so that makes a difference on how long you cook it. So when it's cooking, by the time the 7 to 8 minutes, that's the part that's going to start your color. Peanut brittle is that kind of that caramely color, and that's kind of what you want, but you don't want it completely. You don't want it too dark after that first cooking, because you're going to cook it again for about 3 more minutes in a little bit. And so that will make a big difference. I have done, there have been times when this was a newer microwave, and so when I first got it, I had to adjust because I didn't cook it long enough, because my other microwave seemed to cook higher and it didn't take as long, but this one takes just a little bit longer. That does make a difference when it comes to your microwaves. Now, the other thing that I like to do is use flavoring, because that kind of ups the ante, I guess you could say, because peanut brittle in itself is really good, but when you can start adding flavor like your essential oils will do, you can add like cinnamon, maybe you like orange. Wild orange is really good. Maybe you like lime. I don't know. Try it sometime. You decide what it is that you like. And there's cassia. Cassia is another version of cinnamon, and that could be just as good too. And you can use a lot of different ones. Be creative, because people like that. Now, another thing that I added on at the end, the option, is when you're done with everything and you pour it into, or pour it on your cookie sheet or whatever you're putting it on, you can actually opt into having some melted chocolate and pour that on the top and kind of spread it out with a spatula or a knife. And then when it hardens, when it cools down, then you've got a chocolate on top of your peanut brittle. So you have a chocolate peanut brittle. Now, there is another option. Instead of putting your essential oil into the peanut brittle that you're cooking as it is, you can actually put it in the chocolate. So you could put the cinnamon, or wild orange, or any flavoring you want in the chocolate and put that on top. So that's another option. And for some people, that might be just less of it's still going to be a lot of flavor, but it's just a little bit easier than to put it in the peanut brittle itself. Now, I do like doing a lot of cooking with the essential oils, and I'm always experimenting. So think about the next time that you're in the kitchen and you are reading a recipe, making something, especially now that we have the holidays, for those of you that do celebrate the holidays, and you can put in an essential oil in place of where you need flavor. So instead of going to the store and getting an imitation peppermint or an imitation lemon, start being a label reader. You just might not want to get some of those things that are in the store. It's amazing. So anyway, essential oils are something that you can use in place of. Now, I use doTERRA essential oils for those of you that may not know me. By the way, my name's Diana Hinkle. I didn't introduce myself in the beginning. And I do this once a week. I come online and teach you something about essential oils. And you can go to my channel. And I also have, you can reach out to me anytime. And I really love being able to help people understand more about essential oils. So it's not just about health and wellness sometimes. Sometimes it's about the kitchen. So it's super fun to be able to experiment and do things. And I love the idea of being able to do that. And I've got about 2 minutes left, which is another good thing. And so I've got my apron on today. I don't know if you can't see it very much, but it's my, well, it's my country Christmas one. And anyhow, so having the essential oils in my life has been very much a blessing. And so I really appreciate everybody that's been listening to me and viewing the replays. And for those of you that do listen to the replays, watch the replays, I would love a comment, and you could give that to me. And make and you can tell that I'm still, my brain is still not there. And anyhow, I am super fun. It's super fun. And we have another minute left. Now, sometimes if you are just doing this and you're not really sure about your microwave, you can take it out. I always set it at 7 minutes. Take it out prior to that. Now make sure that you are wearing oven mitts because that bowl is going to be extremely hot. Okay? And you look at the color, and it doesn't need, you don't want it to be a super dark brown, but you don't want it to be a really, really light brown. It's in between. So I think most of you know what a peanut butter would look like, as far as kind of like the color of my door in the background there, or the cover. And that's what you want. So if you're not sure, take the bowl out, take the lid off, and not take it out, but take the lid off and take a look at it. What's the color look like? Do you still need that extra minute, or do you need another 30 seconds? So that's one way of being able to know. So let me get my oven mitts. And I will need 2 of them because you cannot touch that bowl otherwise. And this is where you got to really be careful because that is extremely hot, and if you get anything on you, it will totally burn you. Now, if you happen to burn yourself, make sure that you have lavender around because lavender is extremely helpful when you burn yourself. And there are 2 types. So we're going to take it out. And I know that you can't see this very well, but it bubbles. No, you cannot see that very well. And it's just kind of a bubbly. So now you're going to add a tablespoon of butter. And if you don't know how to measure a tablespoon of butter, that's super easy because it's on the packet. And this is what it has on the packet so that you can actually see where tablespoons are. My lighting's not very good. So that, and then a tablespoon of butter, teaspoon of vanilla. I'll put that in here. Pour that in. I have my wooden spoon and my mitt because you don't want to touch that because it is super boiling. You're going to stir that up. And then you're going to put it back in the microwave for another 3 to 3.5 minutes. Now here's where you can see the color a little bit. And you'll have peanuts that want to stick to everything. Okay, I'm going to put the lid back on, get my other mitt, and put it back in the microwave. And we're going to do 3 minutes. So there's the 3 minutes. We're going to let that cook for the 3 minutes. I lid back on my vanilla so I don't end up spilling it because that would be me. move out of the way. And then at the very end, you're going to want your teaspoon of baking soda and your flavoring, your essential oil flavor. Now, I chose cinnamon, and I have found that it actually works best if you put your essential oil in before you add your essential, or excuse me, after you put in the baking soda. And there's a reason for that. So if you've ever been, I think most of us, in high school or somewhere along the line, grade school, junior high, made a volcano. What makes that volcano go? Vinegar and baking soda, right? So baking soda in this regard is about the same idea. It makes it kind of get, doesn't make it go everywhere, but it makes it very airy. And so that's what makes the peanut brittle, so that you have the air inside it. That's the baking soda doing that, okay? And so a lot of fun there. That's why I found that it's easier and better to add your essential oils first and then the baking soda. Now, how much essential oil do you use? That depends on what essential oil you're using, and it also depends on how much flavor you want. Now, since I use doTERRA essential oils, they're highly potent. So 1 drop goes a very long way. So I'm only going to use 1 drop in this recipe. Okay, this will make a complete container full of peanut brittle, enough for quite a few people. And you can make it, and you can break it up into small pieces, big pieces, however way you want. But 1 drop is going to pretty much cover your bases. Okay, and we have a little bit of time left. And let's see, what else? Oh, something else. So again, like I said earlier, if you burn yourself, have your lavender available. Lavender is really good for burns, in case you didn't know that. It's actually better than putting your skin under water. Don't use butter. Please don't do that. That's not good either. And even though you put your burnt whatever underneath cold water, it really doesn't stop the process of burning. It helps out for a while, but I'll tell you, lavender really makes a difference when you burn yourself. I think everybody should have, if you're a cook and in the kitchen, I think everybody should have lavender. Okay, so mix again. So at this point, you're going to see that caramelized color, and it's super hot. And I'm going to get my essential oil. I'm going to add 1 drop. And you have to be patient or I'll get more than 1. And then I'm going to add my teaspoon of baking soda. And then get my glove back on. See if I can stir it up. And it's stuck. Okay. And you're going to see a milky color, kind of. And it puts that air in there. And then all you're going to do is pour it onto the baking sheet that's either been greased with butter, or you use a non-stick parchment, or in this case I use the ones you get for baking cookies and whatnot, and I try to make it so it's not so thick. I kind of spread it out a little bit, and I don't think you can see that. I spread it out. Well, okay, and that's it. That's all we do. And you can see that we have peanut brittle. We're going to let that cool, and that's all we need to do. And this is the point where if you wanted it to have chocolate on there, you could put it on now or wait till it's cooler, because unless you don't want to melt your chocolate, or like if you put chocolate chips on there now, it's going to be, they're going to melt. Okay, so you want it to cool down a little bit before you put your chocolate on there. Otherwise, you're going to have chocolate everywhere. Okay, and so once that's set up, once that's cooled down, then you can put your chocolate if you choose to do that. Okay, and that's it. That's all you do to make this recipe. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you will enjoy it for years to come, because this is an awesome recipe, and I was very grateful that somebody actually gave it to me, and I've used it ever since, and I've probably had it for about 25 years. Long time. So you guys enjoy yourselves. We will see you next week on Monday for some more education, and I don't know what we'll do then. So we'll see you then. Thanks, everybody.